Hello there and welcome. I'm Christina Johnson, a transformational nutrition coach and founder of the Emerge Weight Loss Method. And I am back today with video 3 in our December series where I'm helping you figure out how to enjoy the holidays and holiday food without getting to January 1st and feeling guilty and sluggish and a few pounds heavier. In my experience working with women over the past few years, I have found that it's definitely possible to find this balance where you can enjoy some of your favorite foods and eat them without guilt and without going completely overboard, where you can have one or two of your favorite treats instead of like throwing in the towel and eating whatever you want between now and January. And so that's what I'm here to do in this video series, is to help you figure out how to find that balance. So I'd love to know if you're watching live, just say hello so that I can see you here. And if you're watching the replay, just put hashtag replay in the comments so that I can see that you're here. I'm going to pull up my computer here so I can hopefully see the comments as you're commenting live in our video. So just so you know, if you missed part 1 or part 2 of this series, they are pinned in the top of the Facebook group, the Clean and Mindful Eating Facebook group. So if you go to the featured tabs there, you'll see video 1 and video 2. And it's not a big deal if you're watching this video first. You can watch this one and then go back and get caught up. They're kind of 5 separate strategies. So each video I'm giving you just a really practical strategy on how to enjoy the holidays without going overboard. So let's get started. And the topic we're going to talk about today, and before I get into it, I am really curious to know, when you think about the holiday season as you're going through December, what are some of the things that you look forward to the most? Like, what brings you the most joy? What things are most fun for you this time of year? I would love to know. Kind of think about that and let me know in the comments what a couple of those things are. Because what I find for a lot of us as we go through the busyness of this season and we're just trying to get things done, one of the things that we tend to look forward to the most, if we're completely honest, is food. There's so much holiday food around, food that we don't normally get to enjoy other times of the year. And so that can be a big part of our joy and our fun in Christmas, are all of these events that involve food. And so what the strategy is that I have for you today, it's a really important one, and it is to look for ways to experience joy this Christmas season apart from food. And I just really believe that one of the things that makes it so challenging this time of year to maintain our weight, to keep feeling good and healthy, is that pretty much every event, like every week, there's multiple events that involve food, right? Like, how many of you have had that experience or going through that right now? Let me know. Like, even just tap the like button if you can relate to that. I was at a Christmas concert for my nephew last night and there were cookies afterwards. I'm going to a cookie exchange next week. There's, a holiday party for our small group at church this weekend that revolves around food. I'm sure many of you have work parties or people are bringing goodies into work. And then there's all the family dinners. And so there's all these opportunities for really good food all month long. And it can be easy to feel like, well, it's too hard to just try and eat healthy. And if I eat healthy, I'm just going to miss out on all the fun. And we don't want that. Like, we don't want to have to miss out on the fun of the holiday season and the joy. We don't want to have to miss out on our favorite holiday foods and traditions. And that's okay. And so I think what can be really helpful in my experience personally and with the women that I work with, is that it is okay to find some of our joy this Christmas season from food. It is normal, and it's okay. And we want to make sure that we're also really, truly feeling and experiencing joy apart from food. I kind of think of it like, if you have this big bucket, like a joy bucket, and there's all these things in the bucket that give you joy and happiness and, like make meaning out of your day and your life. So if we have this joy bucket, it's okay if a couple things in there are food related. But I think what the problem is for most of us is so much of what we look forward to and that gives us joy or a sense of fun is food. Like our joy bucket is primarily food with a few other things sprinkled in. And so what is really helpful is to reverse that percentage. You know, maybe make 10, 15% of your joy bucket related to food, and then be intentional to really find other things that are giving you joy that don't include food. And what happens then is as we're finding other things that give us joy, we find that we don't need food as much. Like, yeah, food is great and it can be fun and happy, but if we have all these other things too that we're looking forward to and finding joy from, then our joy doesn't have to all come from food. And so here's 3 practical steps you can take to follow this step, to find more joy apart from food. And I guess I want to say too, that I know that for most of us, like we don't want to admit that so much of our joy or fun or happiness is coming from food or how we look or how well our clothes fit. We can feel like it's a little vain, and we have things like, I know a lot of us feel like we have a really good life. You know, we're successful in all these areas. We're happy. We have family. We have friends. And that's what should be most important to us. And yet, as we're going through the day-to-day of life, oftentimes it is food that we turn to for comfort or a little bit of like peace or calming or soothing or, you know, all of those kinds of things. And so I get it that, yeah, we don't want our happiness to come from food. And sometimes it can feel hard to admit that some of our happiness is coming from food. But I would just encourage you to maybe just do a little self-reflection on that if that is resonating at all with you. So, okay, let's get into 3 steps you can take to find more joy apart from food. And so this first one actually involves food. So what I want you to do, and if you're watching the replay later, you can pause this video, or for now, just kind of take note of what these 3 steps are. And then I would encourage you to set aside, it should only take 10 or 15 minutes to do this sometime later today. So don't wait, do it today. But the first step is to do like this brainstorm of what are all the things during the holidays that involve food that you look forward to and enjoy. So what are the things what are the food related things that are bringing you some fun and joy and happiness during the Christmas season? And just list as many out as you can. So just to give you some ideas, you know, maybe there's like this special family dessert. For me growing up, my grandma used to always make banana split dessert, and she would only make it at Christmas, and it was like this thing that we looked forward to. So that's a very fond memory that I have of Christmas. For me growing up as well, my mom and my sisters and I would spend like a full day baking all of these different Christmas cookies when I was younger. And so that is something that, you know, was fun for me and brought me joy. Maybe for you, there's like a work party or some other holiday event that just is fun and you love all the food that's there. So it can be, you know, any number of things. So just make a list of what are the things that do involve food that bring you joy that you look forward to during the holiday season. So that's the step 1. But then after you make that list, I want you to go back through that list and kind of narrow it down. Pick out like what are the things that are most meaningful to you. Like sure, there's goodie tables. When I was a teacher, we would have a goodie table every single day for like 3 or 4 days at work. And yeah, it was fun to have all those treats there, but did it bring me a lot of joy? You know, not really. So as you look through that list of things, think about what are the ones that are most meaningful to you, that bring you the most joy, that you really want to focus on and give yourself permission. That's going back to strategy 1 from this video series. But which ones do you really want to give yourself permission to fully enjoy guilt-free? So that is step 1. Then step 2 that I want you to do is to make a second list. And this one's an important one. I want you to brainstorm all of the things this Christmas season that bring you joy that have nothing to do with food. So maybe it's like going out and driving around at night looking at Christmas lights. Maybe it is your kids' Christmas program. Maybe it is buying gifts for family. Maybe you are just a gift giver and you love buying gifts for family. For me, I love wrapping gifts. I think there's something kind of fun and creative. So I love like putting on a Christmas movie and giving myself, or a couple Christmas movies, and giving myself a few hours to just wrap all the gifts. Like that brings me joy. Maybe for you, it is spending time with your family or family you don't get to see very often. Maybe it's doing an Advent devotional. Maybe it is, another thing I enjoy is just, I love all the Christmas decorations in my home. I love, turning the lights down low, having the Christmas lights on, and just enjoying the atmosphere. So make that list. If you're watching the replay, you can even pause the video now and make that list. But what are things during the Christmas season that do give you a sense of joy that have nothing to do with food? And so that's step number 2. And the third and final step is to then ask yourself, and this is the big one, how can you slow down and allow yourself to feel joy from those things on your list this Christmas season? Because I think what happens for a lot of us, and let me know if you can relate to this, but I think it's so easy to be so busy this time of year. We have our lists, and I've been doing that these past couple of weeks, trying to get all this shopping done and planning menus for Christmas meals. And we're hosting my family at our house this year, so we're also doing some house projects. So it's really busy to get caught up in all the things that we have to do this time of year, and going. Like this week, I have something going on every single night of the week. And so how can you slow down, at least for little moments here and there, to experience the joy from those things on that second list? Because, I notice what happens for me is then, like, let's say I get to, Christmas Eve, and I'm frantically finishing my Christmas shopping. And so I'm not enjoying wrapping presents because I'm having to throw it together at the last minute. I'm not getting the joy that I would from that. Or even like the baking cookies tradition, that can become just one more thing on my list that I have to cram in. And so I'm not finding as much joy from it as I would like. And, here's why this is so important, is because if you can experience more joy from the things on that list that don't involve food, then we tend to not need the food as much, or we feel like we're not missing out as much because we're still enjoying the holiday season. We're still slowing down, being present, being mindful to all the positive experiences that are happening this time of year. So is this making sense? Let me know if this is making sense or not. And I'm also curious to know, do you find that being so busy this time of year makes it hard to feel joy from a lot of these activities? Am I the only one here? And just in general, do you slow down enough to find joy or to feel the joy in these activities? So as we wrap up, here's your homework item for today. I would love for you to take action today, the day you're watching this video, and set aside 10 to 15 minutes to do those 3 steps. So 1 was making the list of all your favorite food-related things this time of year that make you happy and bring you joy, and then narrowing it down to the ones that are most meaningful to you. Number 2 is making a list of all the other things that bring you joy and just any positive feeling, connection and warmth and peace this time of year. And then 3 is asking yourself and really thinking about how could you intentionally slow down and feel more joy this holiday season. So let me know if you're in for this challenge. You can just type I'm in the comments, and then I will know that you are doing this week's action item with me. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I would love to connect with you and to talk with you more. If you're wanting more personalized support this holiday season, then feel free to book a complimentary Lose Weight and Keep It Off breakthrough call so we can talk more about your goals. And I'll get my eyes on your situation and figure out what's keeping you stuck and what's stopping you from losing weight and feeling really good and healthy. So if you're interested in that, I will put a link to that in the comments for you as well. So let me know if you're in for this week's challenge. I hope you have a wonderful week and a joy-filled week. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again next Wednesday at noon Central Time for our 4th strategy. All right, bye.